So a little video on using a long line, and I've got a long line here on our Setter Cross collie who has an incredible hunt drive. She's wearing a harness with the long line, massively important. Long line work on a collar or a halty or a choke chain is borderline cruelty. So being really careful that we're going to use a long line, especially when you've got a one, she's so high energy, you know, she throws herself in the end of that line, and if she was on a collar, she would have damaged herself by now. So we're still working on, as much as she's on a long line and she's on the end of it, at no point do I try to steer her using the long line. So some of our automated stops are coming in. If you notice, she turned there, and that I'm still with the line nice and slack. Midge here, building in that recall purely on, check them with the sister, purely on recall work, not on tension on the long line. So obviously she wants to be at the end of it, because especially when she's running with the other dogs, she wants to be a little bit further away. But long line work is all about training your dog at a distance. So we're building in, wait! It's hard when Murphy's just run that way. We're building in here. And all this stuff happens on the long line. Did they nick it off you? Did they? Happens on the long line, regardless of, you know, so if she's at tension, I'm making sure that that's not what's bringing her back. Like, it's really easy just to pull her back, but that's not going to help my recall for when we try and get off lead later on. I'm also using this rope line. I find this one a bit of trial and error more recently, that a rope line's been really good, and that it drops a lot easier. That little bit of weight helps detangle the dogs quicker. So rather than you needing to pick up your dog's foot to untangle all the time, that line's heavy enough that it drops itself when you stop the tension, drops itself, and then she can just walk out of any tangles. Now, it's annoying. Long line work is annoying, it's hard work. Given two hands, I'll be feeding this in and out, given the opportunity, so that we can keep out of the mud a little bit more. But it's massively important that we use the long line to help our dogs not practice the behaviour that we don't want them to use, like running off, being away for a long period of time, not recalling, all this sort of thing. My dog went on a long line in public for 2 months, and now she's fine because we stopped a pattern of behaviour that was developing. So use the long line, but please use a harness when using the long line. Not a halty, not a check collar, not a normal collar, because your dog puts too much weight in the end of it. If that dog goes from there to the far end at full pace, she's going to hurt herself if she's not secured properly. So long line work, very important in some dog training.